I had made over 1,000 posts on social media and got nothing from it. Sound familiar? I went 6 months without getting a single lead, and then in 1 week, I got 6 new leads. I'm gonna walk you through the new strategy I started using on social media to go from 0 to thousands of dollars calling me up and saying, I wanna work with you. Where I was going wrong is I was making the same type of post every single time. I would go on social media, I would see competitors, and I would be like, wow, that post has a lot of likes, it has a lot of views, that must be working really well for them. The problem is, it's what we would call a growth post. Maybe they were growing an audience, maybe they were getting more people watching the video. However, if you do a growth post every single time, your audience is never gonna know who you are, why you should work with them, and they're never gonna buy from you because they just always expect the free, valuable information over and over and over. So I wanted to take people that only wanted value and turn them into people that wanted to pay me. As a marketer, I should have known this, and I did not. On social media, you need to think of it as if you're thinking of a marketing funnel. Instead of your whole funnel for your entire marketing strategy, think about it just on social media. So we have our funnel here. The goal is to get more and more people into this funnel, right? We want to build our funnel from up here as a audience. And down here is sales / customers. So your goal should be to fill your funnel. And as your funnel goes down, you get more sales and customers. My problem was I kept filling my funnel with people that loved my free information. And once they got in here at the top, they would fall back out of my funnel because I never did stage 2 or stage 3, which is growth for stage 1, nurture for the middle of the funnel, stage 2, and then convert for stage 3. I was only focusing on growth. I made one type of post over and over again. It attracted one type of consumer, the consumer that just wanted to absorb my information. Once they absorbed it, they went out because they never got moved down and ascended to the next stage of the funnel. So what I learned is you have to start making social media posts for every single stage. And you don't want to only do convert posts or ask a whole bunch. You want to give more than you ask. And so with that, we like to use 40% of our posts are growth focused. Our goal is to increase our audience, increase our awareness, and make people problem aware 40% of the time. 40% of the time, again, is nurturing. I want to show them why I'm different, introduce them to my personality, what makes me uniquely qualified to solve their problems. And then finally, 20% of the time is a convert post. And this is where I tell them what I would like them to do next if they want me to solve the problem that they have. And I know what you're saying, Ryan, that's all fine and good, but what do I actually post? Thank you for showing up. I'm going to walk you through the types of posts that we do for growth phase, nurture phase, and convert phase. So stick around, and we'll get through all of these. Talking about growth phase, our goal is to grow, our goal is to make people problem aware, our goal is to increase your awareness. The types of posts that we'll use for the growth phase are these. Tips and tricks. You should be uniquely qualified to give your audience tips and or tricks to improve at something. When you give them tips and tricks, you're helping them solve a small problem up front that your end solution would be what they pay money for. Bold statements. I also like to use controversial statements. So starting your post with a bold statement or a controversial statement will make an audience's ears perk up and want to listen to what you have to say. If they agree with it, maybe they'll follow you. If they don't agree with it, maybe they'll comment, which will help you boost in the algorithm. Either way, you're attracting and repelling your perfect ideal customer. Memes. Now, I slept on memes for years and years and years, and Nick, who's behind the camera, said the best performing post he ever had at his previous company always was a meme. Maybe they'd only get like 20, 30 likes on their other stuff. Whenever they post a meme, it would almost always go viral. And so I tried it. It worked. Listicles. This is your simple 7 ways to do X, 9 ways to get Y, whatever it may be. BuzzFeed made this wildly popular. Once they started posting listicles over and over again, they got to be a massive company. They got a huge audience, and then they sold, and now it's not really a thing too much anymore. And trending topics. Trending topics work almost every single time, so long as the trending topic aligns with something within your niche and your audience. So if you can ride a trend, be quick to talk about it, and then give your own perspective of how that affects you or your ideal client, probably something you should make as often as you possibly can. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ryan, what do I do with all of this stuff? Well, obviously you make your post, but what type of post do you make? The number one type of content to make to grow right now, and has been for a while, every platform is pushing it. They're trying to get as many people on every platform possible because it's very bingeable, is short form video. So this is your vertical videos, generally 60 seconds or less. I mean, it can even be 30 seconds or less. Sometimes it could be up to 2 minutes, but the short form vertical video. Now, with the growth type post, a thing that I really strongly recommend is making it shorter, simpler, more clear, more concise, and more easily to consume. You got to remember, your goal is to grow. You can't be talking in jargon on this one. You can't be doing things that make people think too hard. If this is a growth post, they don't know you exist yet. They don't understand who you are. They don't know that they may even have a problem. Real broad, real clear, real consumable, right at the top of mind, where you're not having to like think too hard about it. As soon as you start making people think, they skip, they move on, and they're probably not going to follow you. But if you can make it like super, super simple, super easy to understand, and shorter, it's going to work way better for a growth type post. So you've made your growth post. Now you're moving on to a nurture post. You are trying to now build authority within the people that have started following you. So you've gotten more people into this funnel. They now have an awareness of who you are. They may be aware that they have a problem. Now what they're doing at this stage is they're trying to figure out like, who's going to help me solve this problem? You want that to be you. So we need to nurture them to say, okay, I know I have a problem, and this is the guy that's going to help me solve that. How do we do that? I'm glad you asked. My absolute favorite type of post for every single business is a success story post. I say it's the number 2 effective because the number 1 effective is what we're going to talk about next. But this is something every business can do, and it's not too hard. Success story. Your client came to you with a problem. You did something to help them solve it, and now they're living happily ever after. You can tell that story over and over and over again. An example would be, my client was a personal injury attorney who could not get a single like on social media. They came to us, we implemented this strategy, and now every time we post, they get 3 to 4 comments on their social media post. And just last week, they actually got someone to sign up for a case through a DM on Instagram. I just told you a success story. Every person that's watching this video probably wants that success story for them. So I can share stories like that on social media, give proof that I know what I'm doing. And now you've moved further and be like, I want to work with that guy. And that will lead us to our final phase. Before we get there though, you got some other ways we can nurture somebody for your social media. Next one is the hardest one to do, but I think it is by far the most effective. It's It's a client testimonial. It's so hard to get somebody on camera to 1, share their story, and 2, share it well, and 3, actually show up and schedule and, do all the things that's required to do that on camera. But it's the most effective. If I can get somebody else telling the audience how awesome it was to work with me and I'm not having to do anything, it's going to work, and it will work very well. That's why testimonials have been running on TV for the test of time. However, it's really challenging. So another way you can do it is use their quotes. I'll have my notes app open while I'm on a phone call or while I'm working with a client, and I'll write down quotes that I hear that are really, engaging or stand out or something that resonates. And then I'll take the quote, I'll start the story of the success story by using the quote, because instead of getting them on camera, I can use their direct quotes and then tell their story, and it works just as good. Next one is behind the scenes. A lot of people love to see, we call it how the sausage is made. So they want to see the behind the scenes, behind the counter, how you're manufacturing things. They want to know the intricacies that go into doing whatever it is that you do. They don't want to always see the front end. They don't want to always see the spotlight. They want to see like the rough, dirty behind the scenes. It works really well to show that I am indeed doing what I say that I can help you do. Another way you can nurture your clients is to share your journey. Sharing your journey, it shows that you aren't perfect. It shows that you're growing at the same time, and people want to support other people that are trying to grow and get better. A way I like to do this is I share something that I might have not done a very good job with. And if I don't do a very good job, I obviously try to make it better, but showing that I made a boo-boo, I fixed the boo-boo, and here's the outcome that happened because of it, and this is what I learned. It shows your clients and your audience that like, wow, this guy is taking responsibility for making a mistake and learning from those mistakes. That's someone that I want to work with. A huge one that people like to do is community relationships, especially my small business owners that are in local communities, local service business especially. Show that you're actually in the community. My wife is a real estate lawyer. We're up at Lake Norman. Charlotte's about 30 minutes down the road. There's nuances. There's nuances with working around houses selling on Lake Norman. Whenever she hears someone working with a Charlotte agent and not a Lake Norman agent, she gets mad. And it's because they went all the way into Charlotte because they didn't know that there was a community person that has a relationship, knowing the nuances of the area that client wanted to work with. And that's because they didn't do a good job showing that they are in the community and they know the intricacies of the actual community they're in. Showing that you are actually involved with the community, maybe you're giving back, maybe you're just out having lunch at local businesses, showing that you also support local businesses. It does wonders for kind of that PR and personal relationship that you can build for the people that are right here around you. The next one, showcase your USP. This is your unique selling proposition. What makes you uniquely qualified and different than the other people that also do what you do? The one that I love using is real estate agents. Every real estate agent is the same. You guys all can go under contract. You can show houses. You can bring the contracts to your closing attorneys, all that kind of stuff. However, you need to figure out a way that makes you unique and different than the thousands of other real estate agents that are out there. It can't be that it's 30 years of experience. Because of that 30 years of experience, you've learned unique things that make you more qualified than others. That's what you need to share and showcase. The other way I can say this is, why choose us? Why should you choose me over the other guy? Myth busting, pretty easy one here. There are myths within your industry that your clients believe or that other people have said. Bust the myths, prove why that is not indeed true. And the final one that I like to use within this nurture phase is the personality showcase. Let's say you have a golden doodle that likes to jump up on the counter and eat all of your crumble cookies, and then your daughter cries every time she gets home and there's no more cookies because your dog has ate them. It's relatable. If you also have a golden doodle, you know what I mean. That makes you and I have something in common. That makes me more likely someone you're going to do business with. Damn it, Gus. So here is your list of ways you can create content. What works for this type of content. Reels / short form video, however you want to say it, the short form video, just like here, short form video works for this too. Right now, short form video works for every single stage. You could post a short form video every single post and it works. However, especially on Instagram, what's working really, really well as of this video recording, starting of Q2 2025, is carousels. Carousel? Spelling is not my forte. Carousels. This is your swipe post. This is having multiple posts in a row. I like to use this to tell my stories. So instead of me talking through the video, I'll be able to write better copy than I can say usually. And swiping through gets an engagement every single time. This goes to your current audience better. They push carousels to your current audience, because if I didn't watch the post or didn't engage with the post the first time it came up, it'll show it again, but on the second slide. So it gives you more opportunities. Then every time they swipe through is another engagement for your post. So carousels are being pushed a ton right now to your current audience, and it's a way you can really boost that engagement. Also, reels work, photos work, graphics work, they all work, but these are the two that work the best right now. All right, so moving into the final stage of this is the conversion part. This is where you tell them what to do next, because they have said, I'm now aware of you and that I have a problem. I now think that you are the person that I would like to do business with. You need to tell them what to do next to get that problem solved. We're very simple creatures. We're not going to take action or do something unless someone tells us to do it or gives us the choice of what to do. It's the easier solution for someone to just do nothing than try and guess and figure out what it is that you want them to do. So we clearly and concisely tell them one thing that you want them to do and take action from that post. That's where this conversion post comes in. Types of posts we can make. My favorite one is the problem solution call to action. And it's a very simple talk track that you can use. If you are suffering from X and you are seeking Y, then you need to do Z. That's generally what it is. Now you can make it much nicer. Let's use someone that may be looking for social media help as an example. If you own a law firm, I like using law firms. My wife is a lawyer, so it's easy for me to talk about. So if you own a law firm and you're sick of posting on social media to get 0 results and nobody ever engaging with a single post, give us a call. We help lawyers make engaging posts that people don't want to swipe through. Wouldn't it be awesome if your post had 15 comments of people raising their hands and want to work with you? So if that is something you want, call us and we'd love to help. I kind of worked in 2 calls to action there. I did one kind of problem, slight solution, call to action, went back to solution, call to action. But generally speaking, you can tell a nice little story using this problem, solution, call to action. This is my favorite one for this type of post. I think the easiest post you can make is before and after. You see what it looks like before, and this is what their life was. They started working with me, and this is what it looks like after. Do you want that? DM me, call me, schedule a call. Whatever your call to action is, tell them one thing to do after that. The offer breakdown. Most people don't know what it is that you actually do. If they were to work with you, they don't know all the things they would actually get. Break down your core offer, tell them what it is that you get, and then what they should do next if they want to buy that offer. Explain your process. Usually I like using this in 3 simple steps. What is it like working with me? First, we do this, then we do this, then we do this. Then you get your dream outcome. Very, very simple, very effective. Now it removes all of the questioning of what will I actually do to get that? What will it be like working with you? You've removed that objection and that curiosity right up front. Now they can take action and go ahead and start working with you. And the final convert type of post that I use is the product service explainer. And this is simply just explaining what your product and service is and what it does and how it helps people. This one's not very in depth, but once again, people usually just don't know what it is that you actually do. So breaking down that product or service, explaining how it works, then telling them what to do next is a great conversion post. So once again, what type of content or what type of creative should we be making for our convert post? You have short videos. They work. You have carousel posts. They work. Swipe through, tell a story. You have photos, a picture of you or your clients or your service or whatever it is, but just a photo. In the caption, you can use one of these formats. That'll work. Graphics, those will work. Every single style of post on social media will work for a convert post if you have done what you're supposed to up here. Here's the deal. These are going to be your worst performing posts on social media standards. People are not going to be like engaging with this. You're not going to get a ton of likes. You're not going to get a bunch of comments and shares on this type of post. However, this is the type of post that's going to make you the most money if you've done all of this correctly and well. So when you're looking at things, this section up here, this should be getting you views, likes. This should be bringing more followers into your network. If that's not happening, improve this. Next, people should be engaging with you, asking questions, commenting, sharing it. This is this stage. If that's not happening, improve it. When you get down here, people should be DMing you, buying from you, and you should see your sales numbers going up. If that is not working, this needs to be your improvement. This is what I changed. This is my new funnel for social media posts. Once we started doing this, we started getting leads every single week. Social media will work for you and your business.